Raga Makawi is a Sudan researcher with the London School of Economics. Robin Dwyer asked her about the situation on the ground in Sudan.
It's quite dire. So for 3 days now and 3 nights, the kind of infighting has been kind of, raging on, both on the ground. You've got members of the military, SAF, kind of engaging in kind of open warfare with members of the RSF militia on the streets of Khartoum throughout. So not just in specific places, they're spread out through the entire city, exchanging gunshots. And 2 days ago, SAF had deployed its air force, so it's trying to kind of hit or bomb the RSF's kind of strategic locations, their bases. And the problem is that RSF had, over the past few years, since its kind of deployment of a majority of its troops to Khartoum, they had infiltrated kind of the urban space. They've kind of established their military or militarized installations throughout, various neighborhoods. So it's very difficult to be able to kind of aim and hit them without also kind of affecting, the civilians and the general public.
And Sudan, sadly, is a country that's no stranger to violence. How does what's happening now compare to what's happened in the past?
I mean, obviously, it's a continuation of, these kind of cycles of conflict and violence. However, this is the first time that conflict has erupted in the capital, Khartoum. Khartoum historically has been known to be kind of relatively secure and safe. So a lot of people who are now kind of affected by these kind of conflicts are struggling to kind of come to terms with what's happening. They don't have the mechanisms, tools, or kind of, processes in place to be able to kind of mitigate or deal with the situation day in and day out.
So what do you think might happen next? How might this be resolved?
Well, I mean, it's really difficult to say. And as it stands right now, and what we're hearing from both kind of leadership of the warring parties, they don't seem to be interested in any form of de-escalation. They're not interested in engaging, even with the international community, in order to kind of embark on a new process that leads to a more kind of peaceful resolution. And I think the issue as well is that the processes, the international processes that were in place in country over the last 3 years, whether we were talking about the tripartite mechanism or other political process led by the international community, it feels as if they've lost whatever influence they've had over both generals, and they're not able to kind of bring them to the table again to kind of presume negotiations. At this stage, it might be necessary to kind of involve regional players, regional partners, to kind of leverage the kind of influence historically that they've had over Sudanese state and its major players.